Alright guys, tonight we are draining and then filling the automatic transmission fluid that is in the transfer case. Now up here I have my speed sensor, and I was reading if you take the plug off you can actually put a 19mm socket on the hex part of the speed sensor. Keep in mind it's plastic and you can actually take that off if you want to overfill the transfer case, because I was reading online people like to overfill Chevy or GM say transfer cases, and they even like to swap out the ATF for 5W30 full synthetic oil. So I couldn't find anything for this exact year truck, this being a 2013 Chevy Silverado 2500 heavy duty with the 6.0 gas motor. So you know, do with that what you will. If you want to run motor oil in your transfer case on your Chevy truck, it's up to you. I think we're just going to stick with the book on this one until I research more about it. And this is going to be a manual transfer case because there is a almost like a shift knob on the floor right next to the driver's footwell area in this truck for testing out, you know, shifting the truck into 4-wheel drive, 4 high or 4 low or 2 high, and even neutral. So what I'm going to do is I verified that the fill plug is 18mm. I'm going to spray some of my penetrating oil on it to soak down the threads, because I heard these can be very tight, and that this is some sort of magnesium alloy case, or I thought it was like aluminum case or whatnot. But I also got my drain plug down there. Now I could, if I have to, I could get my Burns-O-Matic and heat up this fill plug if it's not going to move. But the only thing is I have this looks like the ABS module and the plug for it and the wiring, and I definitely don't want to burn that. So if you do have to heat up your plug because it's not moving, after you try to work it back slightly right and then slightly left, back and forth, get some sort of fire blanket, or, you know, find some way to block off your wiring there, because you definitely don't want to melt that. If you're going to put some heat on this plug, it's only a few inches away from that plug. So let me go ahead and spray it down. And the deep well socket fits onto the fill plug, but I can't get the breaker bore or ratchet on there, so I'm going to go ahead and find my smaller socket. But I'm just going to get some fluid going in there. And then also I'm right behind the middle frame section, or the that would be, yeah, because the transmission mount's going to be more forward. It's probably just a frame piece, so I'm going to have to aim this and see on camera where it's going. A little higher, and there we go. Okay, so I expect I'm going to drain out about 1.5 quarts. We'll see. And then I'm just going to use my transfer pump like I was using in the drain and fill on the transmission video to pump Dextron 6 ATF into the fill plug, and then we'll once it starts coming out, then we'll know we got new fluid in there. But I will look into, do some more research on overfilling and filling through the speed sensor hole. So stay tuned for that, but for now we're going to keep by the book. So let me get my sockets and we'll get going. Alright, so I got my 18mm 1/2-inch drive socket. I got my breaker bar, and it actually doesn't take too much force to loosen up the fill plug, thankfully, so mine's in good shape. I will be sure to put some thread sealant on the plug before I put it back in. I should have some red silicone still lying around in the garage. Okay, of course now the socket wants to be tight on there. Come on. Really? You're just fine. Oh. I hope it's not rounding it off like a lot of people have that issue. No, just a little dirty. Now I should be able to switch over to my 3/8 with the ratcheting wrench. And if you notice, this is a Milwaukee stubby socket with the squared off ends. So you could actually put a crescent wrench or a wrench on there if the space was too tight to get a 3/8 ratchet on the socket. So check out Milwaukee, thinking outside the box. All right, this is good news. That is nice and loose. And before I take that out, let me see if the drain, oh, this might be a problem. I don't think I can get that on there. So Is my stubby socket shorter by a degree? It is. Now my 3/8 breaker bar broke on another repair job off camera many years ago, so let's see if this is also fairly loose. Okay, thank goodness. So this, I think these are from factory. I don't think anybody's been messing with these. So, okay, that's good. And quickly I'll slide my drain pan underneath. And let's see what we got cooking here. See if we get any fluid coming out on camera. Yes. And look at that. That appears to be ATF. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna fill it with the Dextron 6 I have. I have another quart and 0.7 beyond that. So I'm just going by the book, you know. Sometimes you don't want to go by the book because people find a better solution, and maybe this is the case here with the 5W30 full synthetic motor oil, but I just haven't researched this enough to want to pull the trigger on this 2013, so I'll see in the comments about it. But anyways, I'm going to drain this and then we'll get to fill it. Okay guys, back in the garage under some light. Here is the drain plug. You can see the metal shavings on the magnet on the end of it. Honestly, not too bad. Not too caked up, so I guess that's just fairly normal. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this plug. You can see most of it just came off there. And then what I'm going to do is I got my red silicone here, so I'm going to put some on the threads of both the drain plug and the fill plug back out there on the truck. And then here I got my transfer fluid pump, if I can talk, right here. And then I got my new quart of Dextron 6 ATF, and I got one out there at the truck that's mostly full. So I'll go ahead and pump the new fluid in. And other than that, I will test drive the truck tomorrow, and I will come to a stop and then manually shift through the you know, 4 high, 2 high, neutral, and 4 low, and then get everything situated and good to go on this. And oh, when I do fill up with the transfer pump with the new fluid, I'll make sure the fluid is, you know, dribbling out of the fill plug hole. That way I know I got it up to that level. All right, and I think that does it. I'll see you in the next video where we're doing spark plugs and wires. Okay, got my fill plug nice and tight, but not too tight, with the silicone on the threads. I got my discharge side of my transfer pump into the fill hole. I got my transfer pump ready to go, and I got the suction side kind of underneath the frame piece here, so it won't flop around and down into the tube. And because it's kind of up against the frame, the suction side is pretty much all the way down into the bottom of the quart. So I'll go ahead and start pumping and fill this thing up. Okay, last note, looking in the fill hole, I don't know if you can tell, the fluid is not quite at the bottom of the fill hole, so I'll put the light out of the way. I don't know if you can see that. The fluid in there, it's almost there. And it was dribbling out before, but that was just because of the force of the discharge side of the transfer pump blowing the fluid out against the gear in there, and then it's sloshing back out. So it's not actually there. It's very, very close. You can kind of see the fluid there. It's hard to focus. But what I'm doing for the last little bit is I took out my transfer pump, and these syringes, these little plastic syringes from, you know, Giant, or maybe I bought one at CVS one time. They used to be 99 cents or $1. I'm not sure what they cost now, but they have a little rubber seal right there. Oral use only, and they actually have a little ruler on the side, and you get this little extension piece, and this actually works perfect because I can lay a water bottle, dried out water bottle filled with some ATF on its side, and I can syringe out what I need at a little bit at a time. It's going to take a little while, and then what I can do is I can go ahead and stick the syringe into the fill hole, and then get the last little bit of fluid in there that I need. So that's what I'm doing to round out this job here, this drain and fill. And then after that, I'll put some thread sealant on my fill plug and tighten it up, but again, not too tight. And then this repair will be done. Just wanted to show you each and all the little steps I'm doing.